Over a decade ago, the newlywed Annie Dewani was murdered in Cape Town while being on honeymoon with her husband Shrien Dewani. What a way to treat your wife to a killer honeymoon. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about Annie Dewani's murder and all the details and speculations about her murder. So today we're going to be doing makeup and murder, and I'm going to be telling you all the tea that I have learned on this case. In 2010, Annie Nina Dewani was 28 years old, an engineer who originated from India but later moved with her parents to Sweden so that they could live a more comfortable life. In 2009, she had met Shrien Dewani, a businessman who was from the UK and was a millionaire at that time. They had known each other for 18 months before deciding to tie the knot with each other. But before that had happened, Annie had been having speculations as to whether to marry him or not. Going back a little bit, Annie and Shrien had met in 2009 while she was in London. They later maintained a long-distance relationship for about a year when Annie decided to move up after their engagement to the UK with Shrien. So the engagement happened in May of 2010. So approximately 1 year of being in a long distance relationship. During this period, Annie was said to have told her cousin Sneha that she just does not feel anything for Shrien. He is a problematic person and he just doesn't go hand in hand with her. It felt like she was just with a person who was just there. He was not loving or affectionate or anything of that sort. Between May and October, Annie had thrown out her relationship with Shrien for approximately 3 times. She just was like, she was just not feeling it. She couldn't do it anymore. He was a person who was perfect. Like, everything had to be precise. There was no way. It was just his way or the highway. So she was like really getting fed up of all of that, and she just could not take it anymore, and she decided to throw it out. She just was like, no. But every time Shrien managed to get her back on board with the wedding, and it was caught that Shrien was telling friends and family that his parents would disown him if they find out that he was bi. So he wanted to get married to her so that he could use this as a cover-up to say that he is not who he actually is. From a normal person point of view, it seemed as if they were a perfect couple. She was an engineer, he was a businessman. It seemed as if everything was absolutely perfect. There was no hiccups along the way. There was nothing that seemed out of the ordinary. But according to Annie, Shrien was a perfectionist. Nothing needed to be out of order. Everything had to be perfect or there was a problem. He used to make a problem out of every single thing. There was always messages that Annie had sent to her cousin Sneha saying that she hates him or she can't deal with him or he's... This was always complaints. I will read out the text messages that I do have as well as display them onto the screen. After the engagement was when things started taking a turn. Annie was caught saying that she hated him and that she wasn't sure about him. They have nothing in common and he is just a perfectionist. I'm emphasizing on the word perfectionist because you guys will see later up in the story what I have coming for you guys. A few days later, she called up her little sister telling her what exactly is happening, and her little sister told her to continue and just try and mend things with him, and maybe things will come out a bit easier and you guys would come out stronger. So her sister just brushed it off and thought that maybe she's just getting like cold feet for the wedding and things like that, but it actually wasn't. Her sister was really in trouble and needed her help. Fast forward to October 2010, Annie and Shrien decided to tie the knot and the wedding cost approximately 1.6 million rand. 1.6 million rand. The wedding smelled lavish in every way possible. They had a wedding over 3 days, and this happened in Mumbai, India at a beautiful hotel. When people were questioned at the wedding, everybody said they seemed to be like a couple who was so in love, and nothing seemed anything out of the ordinary. But days before that, she told her parents that she was not interested in him and they have nothing in common. She also, on the day, caught telling one of her cousins that she wanted a divorce. Imagine, guys, on the day of the wedding, telling somebody you want a divorce. In November 2010, Annie and Shrien decided it's time to go for a honeymoon, and they landed up in South Africa. They landed in Cape Town, where they took a domestic flight to the Kruger National Park. It was said that Annie loved animals, so her first stop wanted to be seeing the Big Five. Later, Annie messaged her parents telling them that Shrien is nice, but she just doesn't have any feelings for him. She then messaged her parents saying that it's getting better, it's hard to explain, but we're working on it. The next day, she texted, hated the word divorce, and her parents thought, you know what, things are getting better. They actually thought she was happy for a change, and they just decided to let go and allow her to take the wheel. Later was when everything took a drastic change. 4 days later, Annie and Shrien flew back to Cape Town, where they stayed at the 5-star Cape Race Hotel. This was when Shrien had met with a taxi driver named Zola Tonga. It was then said that Annie was sent to go and check into the hotel, while Shrien stayed back to talk to the driver. What people were finding very suspicious is that Shrien was a perfectionist, according to Annie, but he did not call a shuttle, nor did he call a cab service. He just took a taxi from the side of the road so that he and Annie could go to the hotel after being dropped off at the airport. Later, it was caught on CCTV footage that Annie did come and check in alone, as well as it was caught on CCTV footage that Shrien was talking to Zola outside. At this particular moment, what was actually being spoken about was that Shrien asked Zola, can you arrange a hit on someone? And Zola asked, oh, who? And Shrien said it was a lady. At that time, they did not know that it was going to be Annie. They just knew that it was going to be a lady, and Shrien was willing to pay 15,000 rand. Later, it was caught that the two did speak for a few minutes before Shrien actually went into the hotel. After the conversation with Tonga, Shrien went back to the hotel to join his wife, where the two of them decided to just chill out a little bit, while Tonga decided to call one of his friends, Monde Mblombo. Monde was a receptionist for one of the hotels in Cape Town, and he was caught on CCTV footage smiling at the camera while he was on the phone with Tonga. At this stage, there are 2 people involved, excluding Shrien, and these 2 people seemed like they knew what they were doing. They knew that they were going to be getting paid for. So after that, a 3rd person was involved, and this guy's name was Oli Mngeni. Now, he was part of this whole robbery as well. Now, according to Zola, he said that he was just asked to be a taxi driver for the couple, and that he did not know anything that was going to be happening at this particular moment. Later that evening, Shrien and Annie decided to go for supper down to one of the hotels, and it was caught that before that, on CCTV camera, Shrien was paying Zola some amount of money. That was actually caught on CCTV camera. They met at the hotel where Shrien had handed Zola some money so that this could be finalized. On November 13th, around 8:30, the couple had finished having dinner, and they decided to go to see one of the townships in Cape Town. At 8:30 in the night, guys, who is going to go out at that time? They had went to one of Cape Town's most notorious areas called Gugulethu. At this point in time, Annie did not suspect anything. She just thought that they were going sightseeing, and Shrien had set everything up for them, and that they were just going to see the place. While they were driving into Gugulethu, they took a detour and went off the main road, and this was when the robbery started happening. 2 hijackers pitched up at the VW Shrien, and they got into the car. They had guns with them, and they seemed absolutely scary. They had guns with them, and I don't think there was an option whether to negotiate with them or not. After a few minutes, the driver was then asked to get out of the car. They just took him and they threw him out. Well, that obviously was part of the plan. And after that, they decided to rob Annie and Shrien. From Shrien, they took his wallet, they took his watch, they took his ring, they took his phone, and they just threw him out. And they said that they would leave Annie, but just not at the same time that they would leave Shrien. They later took Shrien and threw him out of the vehicle, and he was later found by somebody who then called the police. At this particular time, they had no idea what was actually going on with Annie, and Shrien was asked to return back to his hotel after he informed the police as to what actually is going on. Now, this all happened on the 13th of November after 8 o'clock. On the 14th of November in the morning, Shrien had got a phone call saying that Annie's body has been found. And according to postmortem, it was revealed that Annie was not kept alive very long after Shrien had left the vehicle. It was found that Annie was shot in her neck, and that caused the fatal shot. But what I don't understand is that she was shot on her neck. It damaged her spinal cord as well as her hand was damaged. According to the kidnappers, what exactly happened was that Annie was fighting for her bag and the gun went off. So I think their whole plot was actually to keep her alive, but something went wrong and something went wrong along the way and her life was taken. It was later found that her handbag was missing, her Giorgio Armani watch was missing, her BlackBerry phone was missing, as well as her diamond bracelet. Put everything together, it was worth 90,000 rand that everything had come to, which was approximately 6,000 USD at that time. PM report also indicated that she was in a struggle and that she had fought to the last stages of her death. On the 17th of November 2010, Annie's body was released to her family, and they decided to go and take everything to the UK to be performed. Her ashes was then immersed 6 months later at one of her favorite lakes in Sweden. At the time when the phone call of Annie's death had come in, Shrien was caught smiling and laughing on the phone with someone that nobody knows about as yet. Later that day, on the 14th of November, Zola, the taxi driver, had come to visit Shrien at the hotel. When questioned about it, Zola had said that Shrien had owed him some money and that he had just come to pick that up. According to Zola, Shrien had owed him 5,000 rand but gave him 8,000 rand instead. It was caught on CCTV camera that Shrien had taken an envelope to meet Zola, and they went into a private room at the hotel, and that the two of them had met in private. So no one knows exactly what happened and what was spoken about in that hotel room. So that still remains unknown, so no one actually has any idea of what went down on that day. Later, police decided to do an investigation on the car and found out that there was a handprint. The handprint thereafter belonged to the receptionist that I told you guys about, and they figured out that he was one of the people that was part of this whole robbery. Thereafter, he just started spilling his side of the story and everything started coming to light. He made mention of the fact that it was Zola's idea, and Zola called him and told him, like, this is what exactly when it's going to happen, and we're getting paid so much of money and we will do this hit. Later, all of them started arriving one by one in order to come and give their statement. Initially, they lied about everything, but later started coming out with the truth, saying that Shrien had hired them to kill his wife, and they didn't actually know it was going to be her, but it actually was her. When all of their statement was put together, they eventually realized that Shrien was the one who had planned this whole attack. By then, he was already long gone back to the UK, and South Africa tried to get him extradited, meaning that they tried to get him back to South Africa because the crime happened in South Africa. So they wanted him to follow the rules and regulations of South Africa because the crime was committed in South Africa. So they tried to get him back to South Africa, and he kept on playing dumb. He kept on playing stick. It came to a point where Shrien eventually took approximately 40 plus pills so that he could gain some form of attention and sympathy from the public, which definitely did not happen. And he was eventually brought back to South Africa, and he came to stand trial for what he had exactly done. According to public, Shrien showed literally no remorse of what exactly happened. He just was a person who showed no remorse. He played a victim along the way. He played like it was some other person's fault. He never actually took blame for what exactly happened. He kept on blaming people, and he had the best lawyers. Like, he was rich. This guy was rich, so he had one of the best lawyers to take care of his case. And you guys know what exactly happens when you have money. 2 of the hijackers were offered a reduced sentence in exchange for a guilty plea, and the third person was sentenced to 18 years. He refused to talk. He eventually did give a statement, but it was too late, and police already took his plea bargain away and given it to the other 2 kidnappers. So their trial was over. Eventually, Mgeni passed away. He had been suffering from a brain tumor, and he eventually passed away, so he did not stand trial for too long. People did speculate that he was lying about his condition, but eventually he did pass away from having a brain tumor. Now for the main guy, Shrien. He was extradited to South Africa in April 2014. Now can you guys imagine 4 years to get the dude here? He was arrested upon arrival. The dude was just... He was arrested upon arrival. The dude just landed, and they were like, no honeymoon for you anymore, boo. He was arrested for murder, kidnapping, for obstructing justice. He was arrested on 5 charges, which was murder, conspiracy, aggravating circumstances, robbery, and kidnapping. Did I say kidnapping? Yeah, well, just 5 things that he was actually arrested for. On the 6th of October, Shrien was then put on trial. It was said that all the guys that took part in the crime took back their statements. They said that Shrien wasn't involved in the crime, and they just lied about it. So my dude is now a free man. On the 24th of November, Shrien was then set free. All his charges were dismissed, and he walked a free man. He literally walked a free man, and he went back to his hometown, continued with his business, and moved forward in life. On the 22nd of January, Annie's parents did go to higher court, and they wanted answers. They feel like they were denied justice, and what exactly happened wasn't something that should happen to anybody. So they decided to go and open up a whole new case against Shrien, and this time they were fighting with bigger guys. So they decided to leave literally no stone unturned. They had reopened the case on the statement based that Shrien is interested in people of the same gender as him, and that this is the reason why he had taken the life of Annie. He eventually admitted to being interested in the same gender as him, and that he is cool with it, and his parents are now cool with it. So it's one of those things. Shrien has now found true love again. He's moved forward with his life. I don't think he even thinks about what he actually did to a beautiful woman like Annie. So he's moved ahead in life. So guys, before I leave you guys, I just want to read you a few messages that Annie had sent to her family, her loved ones, her parents. All the messages I'm going to read you, as well as I'm going to leave them on the screen so that you guys can see. So guys, this comes straight from an article that was published on the 16th of September 2013. I will put the link in the description box so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about, and the story will definitely be here. So in May, shortly before their engagement, Annie emailed her uncle telling him that she's calling it off and Shrien doesn't want to change his ways. On the 5th of August 2010, Annie said, "Miss you so much, don't want to be with these people, I hate them, I'm going to cry myself to death." This is that she messaged her cousin Sneha to tell her what actually is going on. On the 3rd of September, Annie sent a message saying, "Crying every day, I feel abandoned by everybody." On the 16th of September, she sent a message saying, "Fighting a lot with Shrien, told him I'm going home, wish I never got engaged. Everyone tells me how fortunate I am. Even my designer tells me he's good looking and that I'm so lucky. Absolutely sick. We're seeing each other for 3 days and only fight." September 21, "I don't like him. I don't want to marry him. I'm unhappy for the rest of my life." And on the 21st of September, she messaged, "I don't want to marry him. I'm going to be unhappy for the rest of my life. I know sick news. If I know sick news like this, I would have not got engaged. Feels bad that everyone has already booked the tickets. I'm not happy. Not even a hug I can receive from him. We have nothing in common. He is a perfectionist." Remember the word perfectionist. But the worrying text from Sneha to Annie continue. So on the 23rd of September, she says, "We're going to sort out everything and we're not 100%, but everything's going to be okay." This message I told you guys about in the story. On the 30th of September, this was 7 days later, "Hate him, I'm not happy." So those were the messages that she had sent. But the last message that was actually heartbreaking to her parents was that she said that she will tell them the story when she gets back, and she never got back. So guys, what are your thoughts on the story? I really have a whole different opinion about what exactly happened. I feel that Shrien is guilty and he just bought his way out of the system. This is my personal opinion, and I'd like to know what you guys think about it, and yeah, whether you feel that he actually deserves to be here. He actually deserves to be out free looking for love again while he killed a beautiful engineer. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my video, and till the next time, please leave me in the comment section which story to do next, and I surely will make sure that I do it. So guys, thank you so much for watching.